Darling, my dear friend Ray once told me he could only save $100 a month. He said it like an apology. I said, wonderful. That means we have something to train. Because the secret of building wealth on low income is not pretending $100 is huge. It is making $100 consistent, protected, invested, and unavailable for nonsense. That small amount became his first proof. And once a poor man sees proof, he stops begging for motivation. This is the secret of building wealth on low income, told through 10 strategies that changed Ray's life. Not theory, not just manifest abundance, which is adorable but has never paid an electric bill. Ray was a warehouse worker. Rent went up, groceries went up, insurance went up. His paycheck looked like it had been sent to war and returned injured. The night he called me, he had $38 left until payday. His fridge had eggs, mustard, and one sad onion. His car insurance was due in 4 days, and his credit card company had just sent him one of those cheerful emails that basically means, "Congratulations, you are drowning with branding." He came to me with one sentence: "I don't make enough to get ahead." And I told him the uncomfortable truth. On low income, wealth is not built by having money left over. It is built by deciding what gets paid before life eats the rest. And that is where we stopped looking for one big miracle and started building Ray's money like a system. First protection, then control, then growth. Ray became wealthy not by earning a fortune, but by turning every dollar into a worker before life could turn it into waste. Strategy 1. He built a 1-month wall Ray wanted to invest first. Naturally, everyone wants the sexy part. Charts, green arrows, a little financial perfume. I told him no. First, we built a 1-month wall. 1 month of basic bills in cash: rent, food, utilities, transport. Not 6 months, not some heroic mountain. Just 1 month. Why? Because poor people often pay a panic tax. A flat tire becomes credit card debt. A late bill becomes a fee. A broken phone becomes a payment plan with teeth. 1 month, Ray had a $96 tire repair. Because he had no cash, he put it on a credit card. Then came interest. Then came a late fee because the payment landed after rent. That $96 problem quietly became a $143 problem. Poor people know this. Emergencies don't just cost money, they charge interest. Ray's first $1,400 emergency fund did not make him rich. It stopped him from getting poorer every time life sneezed. Strategy 2. He stopped budgeting like a monk. Ray's old budget failed because it was written by a fantasy version of himself. The first budget Ray made was beautiful. Completely useless, but beautiful. It looked like a financial monk had written it during a silent retreat. The problem was simple. It had no room for being tired, lonely, hungry, annoyed, or human. No takeout, no fun, no mistakes, no birthday gifts, no socks, apparently. That lasted 9 days. So we built what I call the ugly, honest budget. We wrote down the real numbers: his real food spending, his real gas, his real little "I deserve this" moments after miserable shifts. Then we cut only 3 things: unused subscriptions, weekday lunches, and convenience store stops. Not joy, leakage. That freed about $190 a month. A tiny number until you realize tiny numbers repeated monthly become financial machinery. Strategy 3. He made saving invisible. Ray did not become disciplined. Important distinction. He became difficult to rob. Every payday, $75 moved automatically to a separate savings account before he touched the money. Not after bills, not after temptation, before. At first he complained because humans are dramatic when separated from $75. After 3 months, he stopped noticing. After 12 months, he had $900 saved without needing a personality transplant. Automation works because it removes the daily negotiation. And daily negotiation is where budgets go to die wearing cute little sneakers. The richest dollar is the dollar you don't see. Here is where Ray changed. He stopped asking, "Can I afford this?" He started asking, "Will future me hate me for this?" That question has saved more money than half the finance books ever printed. Strategy 4. He killed bad debt before it multiplied. Ray had $2,300 on a credit card. Not catastrophic, just poisonous. The minimum payment looked friendly, like a little puppy. But minimum payments are not puppies, they are termites. So we used the avalanche method, highest interest first, while paying minimums on everything else. He sold an old gaming console, stopped eating lunch out, and threw the freed up $190 at the card. In 13 months, the balance was gone. The emotional shift was bigger than the math. Debt had been charging rent inside his head. Once it left, the room got quiet. Strategy 5. He bought time with cheap transportation. Ray's car was the villain with heated seats. Payment, insurance, gas, repairs. The car was eating more than his future. So he did the thing Americans treat like a spiritual tragedy. He downgraded, not to a horse. Calm down. A reliable older car, lower insurance, no payment. That move saved him roughly $360 a month. Now listen carefully. $360 a month invested for 25 years at a hypothetical 7% annual return becomes about $292,000. That is not a car downgrade. That is a retirement upgrade wearing old floor mats. And this is where the story changed. Until now, Ray had been defending himself, stopping leaks, killing payments, building a little safety. But defense alone does not build wealth. At some point, the money has to leave the couch and go to work. Strategy 6. He invested before he felt ready. Ray waited to invest because he thought investing was for people with real money. The first time Ray invested $50, he checked the account 3 times that same day. By Thursday, it was down $1.17. He looked at me like Wall Street had personally mugged him in an alley. I told him, "Darling, if $1.17 makes you emotional, wait until you meet retirement." But that tiny loss did something useful. It showed Ray that investing was not magic. It was movement. Some days up, some days down, sometimes boring, sometimes rude. So we made one rule: no stock picking, no panic selling, no pretending he was the next Warren Buffett because he watched 2 videos and owned a calculator. Broad, low-cost investing. Same amount, same rhythm. Long enough to let time do the heavy lifting. The goal was not to look clever. The goal was to own productive assets before inflation ate every raise. Strategy 7. He took free money like a gentleman. Ray's employer offered a small retirement match. He ignored it for 2 years. I nearly dropped my tea. A match is not a tip. It is part of compensation. So he contributed enough to get the full match. Then we checked whether he qualified for the saver's credit. Low-income workers often miss benefits because the paperwork looks like it was designed by a bored dungeon master. But free money is free money. And Ray learned a rule. Before you work harder, collect what already belongs to you. But Ray could not build his whole future only by finding discounts and collecting matches. At some point, the income had to grow. Not magically. Not through some online guru's 7-step nonsense. Through one boring, useful skill. Then came the next move. Strategy 8. He built a skill that paid. Every Friday, Ray did not chase passive income first. Passive income is wonderful, but on low income, active income usually has to rescue the first chapter, and that bothered him. Because online, everyone made it sound like he should start a business, buy property, build 7 income streams, and become financially free before breakfast. Very inspirational. Also very difficult when your feet hurt after a 10-hour shift and your dinner comes from a microwave. So we started with something boring, a skill his employer would actually pay for. Ray learned forklift certification first, then basic inventory software. Then he asked if he could train for weekend supervisor shifts. Not glamorous, very profitable. He studied after work at his kitchen table, still wearing his warehouse shirt, eating instant noodles, with feet so swollen they looked personally offended. One coworker laughed and said, "You really think that little certificate will change your life?" Ray said nothing. 6 months later, that little certificate helped him get extra shifts. Within a year, his income was up by about $430 a month. Not because he became a genius, because he became slightly more useful in a place that already needed him. That is a very underrated wealth strategy. You do not always need a dream job. Sometimes you need one paid skill stacked on top of the job you already have. But here's the part that mattered most. Ray did not upgrade his life immediately. He did not celebrate with a new phone, a bigger car payment, or one of those jackets that cost more because the logo is rude enough to be tiny. He split the raise, half to comfort, half to wealth, because deprivation breaks people, but lifestyle inflation bankrupts them politely. Strategy 9. He used a 48-hour rule against emotional spending. Ray's worst spending happened after bad days, not because he loved junk, because he wanted proof the day had not defeated him. So we made a 48-hour rule for anything over $40. Put it in the cart. Wait 2 days. If he still wanted it and it fit the budget, fine. Most things disappeared. Amazing how many needs die peacefully when ignored for 48 hours. This was not about being cheap. It was about refusing to let a bad Tuesday write a bad financial future. Strategy 10. He measured net worth, not mood. Every month, Ray tracked one number: assets minus debts, net worth. At first, it was ugly, negative $6,800. He hated the number. I told him, good, numbers cannot heal what they are not allowed to reveal. Month by month, the number moved. Negative $6,800, negative $4,100, positive $900. The first month Ray crossed zero, he sent me a screenshot. No words, just the number, positive. And I remember thinking, that is not just money. That is a man getting his name back. Then $8,000, then $21,000. The man did not become rich overnight. He became undeniable slowly. Ray's life changed because he stopped waiting for a magical income before behaving like an owner. He built a cash wall, stopped leaks, automated saving, destroyed bad debt, downgraded the things stealing his future, invested before he felt fancy, collected free money, built a paid skill, delayed emotional spending, tracked net worth until the evidence became louder than fear. That is the secret. Low income makes wealth harder. It does not make it impossible, but it does punish chaos faster. Ray did not escape poverty by pretending money was spiritual. He escaped by making every dollar choose a job. Some dollars protected him, some dollars bought assets, some dollars bought peace. And the dollars that wanted to impress strangers? He fired them.